Yo, what's up, YouTube? Alright, y'all. So we got Ben Tennyson Isn't Glazed Enough by Twisted Carnage. Let's get it. Let's go. But if you haven't already, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah, let's get into it.
Hello and welcome back. Now that you're here, we will begin discussing a heavily anticipated character on the channel. A cartoon hero who has been with me for the majority of my life, and someone who has only recently gotten any recognition in the versus battle community. Benjamin Kirby Tennyson, or Ben 10 as he's better known. This will be the first in a short series of videos examining Ben himself, his alien forms, and the overall cosmology of the Ben 10 verse, and how shockingly high it scales. However, the scope of this particular video will be limited to Ben and his aliens fit for common use, so you'll have to tune into the next video to hear an in-depth discussion on the endgame form, Alien X. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into how powerful Ben is on a daily basis. The scaling of the series is somewhat odd compared to what you might initially expect. The vast majority of Ben's aliens scale relative to each other. For example, Spider Monkey, Jet Ray, Brainstorm, and Big Chill are all able to fight with each other and damage aliens thought to be heavy hitters like Diamond Head, Humongosaur, Armadillo, and Forearms. All of these aliens, at least in their base form, scale to large planet level via reverse scaling from Ultimate Humongosaur. Ultimate Humongosaur was able to battle and damage Ultimate Kevin, who at that point already absorbed the powers of all of Ben's transformations and their ultimate forms that he had used up until that point, including Waybig and Upchuck, who have both demonstrated star-level feats. Waybig, who destroyed a planet just like Proxima Centauri b in 2 seconds easily from an extreme distance, in addition to blocking and overpowering the FTL planet-busting Conquest Ray from the Incursion Empire at extremely short range, and Upchuck, who famously swallowed a power core said to be 20 times the energy of our own sun, and then spit it back out, destroying Mount Rushmore. We then move backwards using guides and author statements that confirm that Ultimate Humongosaur is exactly 10 times stronger than the regular base form Humongosaur, landing him in large planet level. However, it should be noted that Humongosaur can grow and increase his strength by 5 times without using his ultimate form, which places him in the lower ranges of star level. And this is consistent when you consider that Humongosaur can lift Waybig, who is a Toku star.
Am I tripping?
The large planet
I can't see this video. It might be a little dark for you guys. Hold on.
The majority of the verse will scale from him. Jet Ray, who is on par with Brainstorm and Spider Monkey, can harm Humongosaur. Every villain that any of those aliens fight,
I don't know if you guys can see me, but I just turned the light down a little bit.
The vast majority of the verse finds their average baseline here at large planet level, which is extremely high for the average.
And bro is not talking that loud.
Especially from a cartoon.
I don't know
what's
going on.
To note that the same reverse scaling principle is applied to Vilgax, who is confirmed to be 10 times stronger than his original series counterpart in Alien Force. Which means, of course, that the original series Vilgax is still that close in power to the Alien Force Vilgax, who is capable of defeating fully sized Humongosaur and each of the galactic enforcers, absorbing their powers along the way. This places even 11-year-old Ben's heavy hitters on the same baseline as the Omniverse and UAF era combat aliens. Before we get to Ben himself, I'd like to take some time to discuss some of his outlier aliens. For example, Ben's alien Gravitac, as the name would imply, can manipulate gravity. And when he was battling a time beast, he was determined to bend gravity to the point that it would affect time itself. And with his efforts, he managed to create a black hole the size of a...
I don't know if you guys can see me, but yeah.
He only managed to escape it by time traveling. Next, there's Atomix, who has been confirmed to be the second strongest alien as far as base power is considered at least. He was able to defeat Ultimate Humongosaur in a single blow, one-shotting him and creating a self-sufficient tiny star casually. Azimuth confirms that Ascalon cannot be matched by anything but Galvan weaponry, which scales above Element X, which can destroy entire solar systems. This places Sir George, and by extension...
I'm not sure why this video is dark, y'all, but yeah.
Waybig, and one of Ben's lesser-known aliens, Edel, with energy built up, all at least on solar system level. And even then, it's likely multi-solar system level. When Malware and Vilgax fuse and battle Ben later in the series, after defeating Atomics, they state that no other alien Ben has ever used against them would win, meaning that Waybig and Edel both scale below Malgax, which can place Atomics in that same solar system range, which is, for reference, on par with Perfect Cell from Dragon Ball Z. Finally, we reached the peak of Ben's daily use aliens, Clockwork and Feedback. An alternate universe version of Ben with practically no experience was able to use Clockwork to revert the destruction of all of the infinite branching timelines and alternate realities in the entire multiverse. This is effectively time manipulation in a multiversal plus range and scope, meaning that Clockwork can affect an infinite number of standard universal models at once. Even more impressive than Upchuck and Edel's ability to absorb energy is Feedback, who is able to fully absorb, contain, and channel the power of the Annihilarg, which can be seen as the higher dimensional Big Bang on crack, because at least when we see it used in the White Nothingness, it is bare minimum 26th dimensional, as it bursts the cosmological entity known as the time stream, which is a hyper timeline containing higher dimensional time itself, infinite branching timelines, and
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't even understand half of what bro just said a few minutes ago.
alternate realities that we will get deeper into in the next video. But for now, let's leave it as at least universal. Even if you downplay the higher dimensional nature of the Annihilarg, Feedback's absorption and subsequent attack at least scale to the mass of the entire multiverse. It is important to note that time didn't even exist yet when this occurred, so it is impossible for it to simply birth only matter. Finally, after establishing the kind of power that Ben consistently wields through his adventures, we can look to Ben himself. As a 16-year-old boy, he is far more capable than you'd think. He's survived attacks from several villains that scale to his aliens. He's dodged several attacks from characters with FTL speed scaling. For example, Princess Atea and Pierce, who both scale to Ben's aliens like Spider Monkey. As a matter of fact, Ben grapples, harms, and tosses a character named Simeon, who is an arachnochimp like Spider Monkey, and is as such relative to him. It is worth noting that the Omnitrix turns the wielder into the peak version of the DNA it is copying, so Simeon is unlikely to rival Spider Monkey directly, but it is reasonable to assume that they are at least relative in ability due to their genetic similarity. And this is consistent with Ben keeping up with Atea and Pierce. This means that even base form Ben from the UAF era has the physical stats to contest characters like Spider Monkey, who scale to jet ray and speed and attack potency. Meaning that Ben should, as ridiculous as it sounds, consistently scale to large planet level striking strength and massively FTL combat and reaction speed. In conclusion, if you personally value author statements and supplementary materials, practically every relevant character in the Ben 10 verse scales to at least large planet level, including Ben, who on the surface seems to be a regular teenage boy. But if the series has one message, it's that heroes can come in many forms. And it's not the shape of their body that counts, but the shape of their soul. Thanks for watching.
Exactly.
I'm very excited to finally be tackling another of my childhood.
Alright, dope video by Twisted Carnage. Hope you guys enjoy it. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, check it out. If you have not done so already, leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Deuces.